Hey everyone. Alright, now this video is going to be short and sweet. We don't yet know who is going to be on the 5th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. But there are rumors out there, and I can't actually show you graphics of the queens that I believe might be on Season 5. This is a predictions or rumors video. These are just people that I have heard about. Might be on the season. They also were voted on the Facebook page. They were running a contest for the RuPaul's casting. And I'm going to give you my thoughts and ratings from 1 to 5 on how likely they are to be on Season 5. 1, not very likely at all. 2, 5, almost certain. Alright, cat, get down. Alright, I'm going to cover 16 queens. I'm sure to get some of these right, mainly because the first few are pretty much confirmed. There's usually between 13 and 16 contestants each year, so that's the reason why I'm going with 16. The first queen that we're going to cover is Tration from Cincinnati, Ohio. This was the Facebook fan favorite in the contest that they were running for the RuPaul's casting. She's going to be one of the larger queens, and we know that each year there's usually 2 larger queens that tend to be on the show. The second queen is Roxxxy Andrews. That's Roxy with 3 X's. Triple X. Okay, she's from Orlando, Florida. There are a lot of Florida queens that I'm going to be covering, so I have to get at least 1 or 2 of those right. But main reason why I'm giving Roxxxy Andrews a 5 out of 5 chance of being on RuPaul's Drag Race is because she's had the audacity to literally post on her Facebook page that she is definitely on Season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, a lot of times, if you go on a reality TV show, and you leak the information that you're going to be on the show before the producers and the network want anyone to know, you're usually disqualified. So I don't know. Maybe this is just a promotional tool. But she says she's definitely on RuPaul's Drag Race. Number 3. Also 5 out of 5, almost certainly on the show, is Detox a cunt. Or they've actually dropped the last part because it's considered too vulgar. So, she's Detox now. From West Hollywood, California. She has a connection to both Chad Michaels, because she's performed in Chad's show, and Willem from, last season of RuPaul's Drag Race. If you watch the Chowdown music video, which starred Willem, Vicky Vox, and Detox, then you're probably pretty aware of Detox. She also helped organize a protest against Lady Gaga at a couple of the clubs after the Born This Way music video came out. They were protesting because of the lyrics of Born This Way. Don't be a drag. Also 5 out of 5 is queen number 4, which would be Alaska Thunderfuck, and we're pretty sure they're not going to use the last name. Just like with Detox, I don't think Alaska will be going by the last name that she uses. If they do use it, they'll replace the U with a V, like I have seen in a lot of websites. That way they can get past censors. But Alaska is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the connection here is definitely to last year's winner, Sharon Needles. So I think Alaska has tried out enough and deserves a chance to prove that Alaska deserves to be there. Now, also, highly likely, though not a 5 out of 5, this is now the 4 out of 5 range, Coco Montrese from St. Petersburg, Florida here. Coco has a connection to Alexis Mateo because they both performed at the Flamingo, and it's a big gay resort in St. Petersburg. This was Alexis Mateo's home base for quite a while. Alexis Mateo also is based at Georgie's Alibi in St. Pete. There was a lot of drama going on at the Flamingo a few months back that kind of made headlines, and think it's been alluded to a little bit on the show, but Coco was Miss Gay America in 2010. She was actually runner-up, or alternate, and she was given the title after another queen that's on this list was dethroned or disqualified from taking that title. I'll get to that in a moment. But I think Coco Montrese definitely is a good shot at being on the show. Now, another 4 out of 5 queen. We're now to number 6, I would say, would be Rachel Summers, also of Orlando, Florida. Like I said, I've got a lot of Florida queens on here. There's several reasons why I think that Rachel Summers might be there. Now, Rachel Summers is going to be a host on the Drag Stars at Sea cruise in a few weeks. There were a lot of queens that were hosts of their own groups on this cruise. Most of those queens are former contestants. Now, granted, the cruise is sailing out of Florida, so there's more of a chance that Florida queens will get the nod as hosts on this cruise. But I also think it might hint that there's a possibility they might be on the show for Season 5. But Rachel Summers also operates a School of Drag in Orlando. It's like a 4-day workshop, and it actually looks pretty interesting. I'm going to have to research more of it. It's only a 2-year-old drag school, but I definitely want to find out more information about this and get back to you, maybe do a video on the School of Drag. Also, a 4 out of 5 chance of getting on the show is queen number 7. That's Vicky Vox, also from West Hollywood, California. We mentioned her before in connection to Willem and Detox, because they appeared in the same music video called Showdown at Chick-fil-A. So, if you've seen that, you know Vicky. Vicky is the bigger queen in the video. And, like I said before, there's usually about 2 big queens on the show each year. So, Vicky might be the second big queen, along with Tration. Now we move into the mid-tier candidates, the 3 out of 5s. Most of these rumors are just that, like, I have heard their names dropped, but don't really have any evidence that they're very close to getting on the show, but it's a possibility. Another Florida queen. Number 8, India Brooks, also from Orlando. India reminds me a lot of Willem. India's got a lot of talents, and if you go to indiabrooks.com, you'll see these talents. Does art, does sculpture, does acting, the whole 9 yards. Even wrote a children's book. It's an adorable children's book based on her 2 dogs, Oliver and Elizabeth. I haven't read the book, so I can't tell you if she has really good writing skills or not, but it's a children's book, so I don't know, might check it out. Another 3 out of 5 contestant. Number 9, Naomi Winters from here in Tampa, Florida. Now, Naomi has done a lot of drag all over the state of Florida, but does most of the work here in the Tampa Bay area now. Naomi would remind me of LaShawn Beyond in terms of the creativity. A little bit of Sharon Needles, has an edge, creativity with an edge. So, Naomi is also a group host on the cruise coming up. And also has, obviously, the connections to Alexis Mateo and Coco Montrese. So, it's possible that Naomi may be a contestant. One thing I can say might indicate that Naomi is not on the show. Naomi's on my Facebook, and Naomi is always on Facebook. I don't think there's ever been a dead period. There's usually like a dead period. It's kind of a hint that people are on the show because they drop off the face of the earth. They're not on Facebook. They're not tweeting. And that's kind of an indication that they might actually be on the show. I don't think Naomi has ever stopped making posts on Facebook at all this year. So I think that might indicate that Naomi might not be on the show. Number 10. Also 3 out of 5 in my opinion. Misty Eyes from Fort Lauderdale in the Miami area of Florida. Another Florida queen. She is a prolific YouTuber. Constantly on YouTube. Now on YouTube she did say she is not on Season 5. But she was offered to host a group on the drag cruise. I think, out of anybody, Misty Eyes probably would be one of the queens at the top of the list if RuPaul had to pick somebody specifically from Florida that had a lot of name recognition, because she's interviewed a lot of the queens that have been on Drag Race, and she does it on her YouTube channel. Now we're down to 11 through 16. Now these are contestants that probably are in the 2 out of 5 range. Most of these are only names that I have heard dropped. People have mentioned them on Tumblr. You know, there's not much that I know about most of these queens, so I'm not quite sure how to read them. I'm just telling you that these are names that I have seen mentioned on Tumblr, on rumor sites. Alright, number 11, Violencia. Violencia with an exclamation point is how she calls herself. From New England, New Hampshire area. Probably does most of the drag in Boston. Reminds me of Mimi on First, kind of like a camp queen. Didn't get to see too much of Violencia. Only saw a little bit on the Facebook page, and the Facebook page is private, so therefore I didn't get much information. From Rochester, New York, number 12 would be Jisabella. Again, don't have much information to go on here other than the name was dropped on Tumblr. Jisabella actually made a YouTube audition video that claimed that she was on... she was going to be the next drag superstar, and a lot of people took that as a misinterpretation that the video meant that she was on the cast already, and that's not at all what that video was about. She was just sitting in a car going to a Halloween party, and I don't even think she even mentioned Drag Race. There was a car beside them on the road. That's about as close as you got to Drag Race. She didn't even mention the show. Number 13 mentioned, also on Tumblr, was the only indication that I got that this person was actually on the show, was Ivy Winters from New York City. And that's all I know about Ivy Winters. Number 14 is Alyssa Edwards. Now, Alyssa is from Dallas, Texas. Alyssa Edwards was the pre-mentioned Miss Gay America in 2010, but she was disqualified. She went to judge another pageant in the other side of the country. And apparently, that's against the rules. There were other rumors for reasons for dethroning, but you know, all I know for sure is that she went to go judge a pageant, and that was against the rules. And therefore, they dethroned her and crowned Coco Montrese as Miss Gay America 2010. That might be an awesome little backstory to create a little bit of drama if Coco and Alyssa were actually on the show together. That would be interesting. I don't know. Number 15 could possibly be one of the Latina queens. Monica Beverly Hills from Chicago. Does a lot of... Actually, is originally from, I think, Owensboro, Kentucky, was what I was reading, but does a lot of shows in Chicago. Apparently is a legend in the drag world, and there was a documentary made of her. I don't know if it was a big budget documentary or a low budget documentary or just a YouTube documentary. Haven't seen it, just saw a trailer of it. It looked kind of interesting. Might have to check that out, but who knows? Maybe she's one of the Latina queen. Number 16 and the final queen that I'm going to review is Adore Delano. You might not know Adore Delano, but you might know Adore Delano's alter ego, his boy ego, the little Latino who was auditioning on American Idol a few years ago, Danny Noriega, also a prolific YouTuber, always is on YouTube. So, I mean, I think there might be a case for Danny Noriega being on the show. He does have experience in reality TV. He was on American Idol. He can sing. He didn't get very far in his season, but he can sing. RuPaul can sing, obviously. So, maybe that might be a little in there for Danny Noriega. So, Adore Delano could possibly be on this season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Since I can't use graphics and video of these queens for copyright laws on YouTube, I'm actually just going to link a lot of their YouTube videos and their performances that people have posted on YouTube, so you can kind of check them out, and pretty soon we should be hearing who is actually on this season. Probably right after Thanksgiving they'll make the announcement.